I finally went ahead and did the thing that I've been the most excited for so long. I got myself a puffer. I'm officially gonna be a puffer dad. And the new puffer has temporarily been installed. Oh my God, you cannot even see. We gotta go this way. The proper tank's down here. So we're gonna have to make some major changes to that tank, some major changes to that tank. This one is thriving. I am super messy down here right now, and I'll show you why I am that messy in just a second. So let's just get suited down at the aquariums and talk a little bit about what's going on over here at Aquarium Alex, and it's gonna be good. So before we sit down and talk about what's gonna happen down here, I just quickly wanna show you this little guy. He's a figure 8 puffer, and if your first thought is, what is he doing in a freshwater tank together with ram cichlids? That's not how this works. Well, then I completely agree with you. And the main reason that he's in here right now is simply because the tank that he's gonna be in is not built yet. He's still a juvenile. I'm just saying he, I don't know if he's a he or a she. So I wouldn't even be able to tell. I don't know if we can get a proper focus on him. I mean, just look at this guy. He is so beautiful. I'm kind of tempted to see if we can just play with focus here, maybe. So he might be a bit shy, but we should be able to get some good shots of him eventually. So he's a tiny, tiny little figure 8 puffer. And worth noting about the figure 8 puffer is the fact that he is actually a brackish water fish. So we are eventually gonna have to get a brackish water aquarium for this guy. Now, the reason that he's in here right now is because, as I said, his own tank is not here right now, and the ram cichlids do not thrive, and also most of the plants in here probably wouldn't thrive as well if we went ahead and made this into a brackish tank eventually. And there is also just a bunch of stuff floating in here. This tank has not been maintained all that well, and it's kind of just housing some of my cuttings that I need to grow before they can sell. So we have some Hygrophila polysperma over here. There's a bunch of Rotala HRA up there. We have a bit of Rotala macandra right there. There's a lot going on, and also I just cut down the Hygrophila siamensis over there because that thing has just been booming in growth lately. But the sad thing is that I am gonna have to get rid of my rams because the new tank is gonna be here, and I don't wanna fill the rest of our home with tanks as well. So it is a case of priority. And the main reason that I got rams, beside them being a super beautiful fish, is also the fact that I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could breed these successfully. Now, the good thing is that if we just for a short second move over here, then you'll be able to see, and I don't know if you can actually see this on camera, but there's a lot of breeding going on right now. So just refocus for a bit. You can see wigglers all over the place here. That is because these guys have actually bred successfully, which is super dope. But we've never made it further than, I think, 3 weeks into the growth where they slowly started dying off. And I think it's simply just because my limited schedule just does not allow me to keep the water parameters a grade A at all times, and if then just one day I forget to change the water, well, then they kind of suffer from it the next day. At least that's my theory. But this time I've gone all in, and the reason that I've gone all in, and I think we will succeed this time with racing babies, is because up here we have more breeding going, and up here we have a pisto breeding. Now, where is she hiding her babies? Oh, we can actually just see one there. If we just go a little bit closer, you'll be able to see that we have up here beautiful, beautiful 1 week old Apistogramma McMastery. And you might also just be able to tell that their bellies are full of teeny tiny orange food. And that is because I have fed them with, what are those things called? Artemia or brine shrimp or whatever you want to do. At least just baby brine shrimp. So, I mean, look at them. They're so beautiful and they're so cute. And she's a really good mother. So things are doing very, very good in the upper tank here. I've struggled a lot with a rather huge attack of brown algae, but most of it seems to be gone now. I've installed a couple of autos up here just temporarily until they finished up eating all of the brown algae in there, but she's doing a fantastic job at keeping her baby safe. She's defending them from all of the teeny tiny neon green rasboras, and also the 2 L129 plecos that we have in the tank. And then there's one of the autos. I don't know if you can get a close-up of him. Oh, There we go. He's not even swimming away. So he's a beautiful little guy, and he has a couple of bodies in there as well. So this tank is also really reaching its stock limit, but for now it's fine and it's doing great. And you can see even in the plants are just going absolutely nuts. I still need CO2 because I ran out of CO2. That's not too good, but we're gonna get that very soon. I have a new bottle coming in, so we're gonna get that hooked up. And yeah, life is pretty good. So let's just sit down and talk about the future plans of the figure 8 puffer that is still hiding in here somewhere. So I've sat down here next to the tank to talk a little bit about the future and the reason that I wanted to have a puffer, what I'm gonna do now, and all those sorts of things. Now, the new tank that I wanna build for this guy, look at him, he's so beautiful. He's so cool. I'm so fascinated by him. And for once, even my girlfriend is actually excited about a fish I bought. She's never excited for any of this. She would like it all to be gone. But for once, I've actually seen her be just a bit excited about a fish. So that's also super cool. But the main reason that I wanted to grab this guy was because I wanted to do something differently. Now, the initial thought was I won't have the necessary expertise and knowledge on puffers, but then I Googled these guys a little bit more, and they're not a hardy fish as such. They're not super adaptable to anything, but I saw some people who have actually successfully kept these in water, in fresh water, in areas where water is quite hot and where the pH is naturally quite high. Now here in Denmark, we are a nation of limestone and nothing else. So the general water hardness here in Denmark is considered very high. I think it's around 18 to 21, at least that's what my usual water readings gives me. And that has actually been a challenge for a lot of times, but I mean, fish are amazing, and these two, for example, is a true proof to that. Whenever people want to breed rams, they always suggest that if they should do any breeding and if they should get ready for that, you need a pH of around 5.5 to 6.5, and you need very soft water. The pH of this tank has never been below 7, never. It's just not doable. It's gonna take way too many chemicals for my water supply to do that. I know I can use reverse osmosis water, but I'm not gonna do that just yet because I've seen so much breeding. But they've done it anyway. So fish are one big adaptation, and that's kind of cool. So I was like, I wonder if this guy can actually do it. And then I think my second thoughts have just kind of gotten the better of me. So I've decided that I want to rather set up a brackish tank for this guy and just know that he feels good. The pH of the water is good because he wants a pH of around 7 to 8. So the pH level is by nature pretty good, but we should be able to create some just mildly salty water for him. And we're not talking very high salinity. We're just talking mild brackish water, and then he should be fine. And then I actually want to change up this tank now that we're doing it. So it's with a heavy heart that I say that I have to get rid of my German blue rams because they're just a fish with a beautiful personality. And I was thinking if I could have them up there, but the tank is just going to end up being overstocked, and honestly I would much rather want to breed my apistogrammas up there anyway. So I don't want them to be up there and they stress each other out all the time, and there's going to end up being zero breeding because every single fish is fighting for territory. I just wouldn't put that many territorial fish inside of a small tank like that. So I don't think it's fair for anyone. But at the same time, I would never put my German blue rams with the puffer fish once he starts growing up, because they can be aggressive towards other fish. And since the German blue ram can also be quite territorial and aggressive if they feel threatened, well then it's gonna end up being just this massive fight where I feel like someone is gonna die from it, and it's likely gonna be the German blue ram. Right now, the puffer is scared of the German blue ram because he is still a juvenile, so he's not touching anyone. The glass surfing he's doing has actually been quite limited. I think right now it's simply just, again, he's kind of scared about it. He was bought yesterday, so he's only just been acclimated and put in yesterday evening, so he's still trying to, just hide. And I've had some success feeding him. Oh, there he is. I've had some success feeding him, and he's slowly recognizing that I'm food, so that's a good thing. But with time, he will require more space, and he will require tank mates that will just kind of leave him alone and that he doesn't really have to worry about. So here's my new plan. I'm gonna get rid of these two tanks, and the small one is gonna be moved to a different location, probably in our living room, where it can be decorative. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a tank similar to the one up there. So he's gonna have a total of around 17 gallons that he can swim in. And instead of then having, I might keep the corridors in there, but I'm gonna have to acclimate them to brackish water as well. It should be doable, at least from what I've read. And then we're gonna go for, I think I wanna introduce just a couple of different awesome looking loaches, because that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And then I want to create more of a flowing river style. So we're gonna have plants that can tolerate a bit more water flow, because puffers are messy eaters. So we do need a pump that can circulate a bunch of water. So I might as well just get actually, I think this one will do, because this is a pump that pumps, I think, around 6 or 7 times the volume of this tank. It's just not looking very violent because the water is distributed pretty nicely. So, but it actually already shifts out a lot of water. But this tank has just been neglected for too long by me, and I don't think it's fair for the fish or the looks of this room that this tank is just here and growing. It's growing fine, but there's just some algae issues that I haven't really gotten the better of, and it's me being a bit lazy. But it's so cool, and I'm absolutely loving this puffer. So there's gonna be more content on that, and I want to take you guys along for the journey of creating a brackish water tank, because it's really hard to find, you know, good information about doing this. I see some videos, but I want to see more. I want to see as much as I see with anything else. And I think we also need to switch out this tank, because stop bullying him. By the way, it's Karl. His name is Karl, and then over there that's Tony, and Tonka is the female. Beautiful, beautiful names for beautiful, beautiful fish. And yeah, that's pretty much it what we're gonna do. So there will also be quite a lot of changing up with the plants and stuff. I don't know if I can reuse any of it in here. I'm thinking that the Hygrophila and the Anubias will thrive fine in brackish water as long as we just acclimate them, because they've been sitting in fresh water for so long. But at the same time, there's just some blackbeard algae in this tank that I haven't been able to get rid of fully, and I don't want to bring that to the new tank. So I'm thinking about just scrapping everything in this right now. Maybe sell it for cheap for someone who actually wants to do something about the problem. And then kind of just start over with a new tank, just like we did up there, because this tank up here is the greatest success that I think I've ever had with the aquarium hobby. And I am very, very proud of the fact that we have around 35 to 40 healthy swimming apistogramma babies living on in a community tank, when everyone is like, you know, people are always like, oh, you gotta provide them this and that and this and that, because otherwise they're just gonna be eaten, and you gotta, you know, sophisticated breeding tanks, you remove the babies, separate them. But I really feel like if you want fish that acts just somewhat natural, that knows how to bring on their genes for when these guys grow up, they will actually somewhat know how to raise babies, because they were raised themselves, so it will be in their genes. If you take something like the German blue rams down here, the reason that I separate the eggs there is because these guys have no idea how to be parents. They're terrible parents. I know people say that, you know, German blue rams, they're so good parents, but honestly, so many rams are just not good parents because they were just raised so poorly. It's kind of cool, and I'm very excited for this, and I'm just so excited to finally have a puffer fish, and I cannot wait to see this guy grow. He was just the cutest out of them all when we got him from the store, and I think he already kind of adapted to the fact that he found out where the shrimps are hiding, because yesterday evening when I went to feed him for the first time, he had the biggest food belly I've ever seen a puffer have. So I'm pretty sure that he found some shrimp and he had himself a nice little welcoming snack. And that's okay, because most of the shrimp in here is just leftover shrimp that didn't really make the cut when I'm trying to get those beautiful colors from them. So he can feast away if he wants to. And yeah, that'll be pretty much all for this video. I just wanted to sit down and have a talk with the future of my room. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you can use this for some inspiration. And if you want to join me for the journey of setting up a brackish water tank, well then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you guys around.